This podcast is just for fun. It's all fake. Don't believe us. Look, do your own research. Welcome
to
the show. We're all back together again.
Hey, things are working out. We get to get together.
And it's my birthday.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Appreciate it. By the time they listen to this, it will not.
How many months old are you now?
But,
maths. Quick maths.
400. I don't know.
Are you 39?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
I know. I'm getting old.
40 times 12 would, I'm not doing that math. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No.
Quick maths.
468.
Wow.
Good job.
You did the thing.
I'm probably wrong.
Probably.
Let me check. I want to know now.
All right. Well,
That was great.
that was pretty great. I'm drinking my
What'd
free
you say?
drink.
468?
Yeah.
Good maths. Quick maths.
There you go.
Nice.
Quick maths.
I'm drinking my free drink from Just Love Coffee Cafe in Chadron. If you're in the area,
What flavor is it?
I don't get coffees. I get
I would say that's
Italian
the
cream
whitest
sodas.
coffee I've ever seen.
Yeah, I get cream soda. So I got Italian cream soda with Irish cream as the seasoning,
Okay.
Seasoning.
and I'm gonna mix my root beer energy drink into it. Now that it's halfway gone,
So you
I
got
want
a
to see what
little,
it tastes like.
little Italian float kind
see.
of thing business
Yeah.
going on? Okay. Yeah. I got you.
But did any of you guys watch that documentary I sent you guys?
Documentary.
Yeah. So
Like
I
a
sent.
whole documentary?
It's like a 30-minute long documentary on YouTube.
When would I have had time?
It's won awards now, and it was a group that did a documentary on Chadron.
Oh.
I did. I
Really
saw it.
unique.
I haven't watched it.
I saw that.
I've been busy watching that documentary about the girl driving the car into the wall.
Oh, that's a crazy.
That is nutty.
That story is wild.
crazy. I saw that.
And catching up on
but
some
I
old
didn't
shows that I'm falling behind on.
I saw the Shattered one, but not because you sent it to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's people have been. I saw it probably
Yeah.
from people sharing it
Yeah.
on social media. It's actually really well done.
Yeah.
They showed up and they talked about how like small town values like feel more like America than the big cities do. Like you show up somewhere and you start talking and people are willing to talk to you in small towns. And
Well, just like small town, I went to buy a car one time and like they weren't feeling the deal I was feeling, so I was like, okay, well, we'll go see what else there is. And then they found out that I helped coach wrestling, and they're like, oh man, I wrestled in high school and stuff. And then we started talking about people we knew, and all of a sudden we made this connection, and bam, they gave me a deal on a car.
Yeah.
You know, that's just small town.
Small town. Yep. And they went out to the state park. And
Nice. I was going to say, did they interview anyone that we knew? Because
Yeah.
I mean, like, odds are, yes.
the superintendent of the state
Nice.
park is in the video. And they cut scene and they're like, and with small town values, there comes perks. And he's like, hey, do you want to see this shot? I can drive you up there. Only we're allowed to drive there. And he's like, duh, we do. And then there's a shot of them driving to a location that's like gorgeous.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're like, only we can drive there. And I was like, what the crap? There's parts of
you
the
know where
state park
that's
that I
at, Phil?
can't drive.
I'm trying to think of which spot that would be.
Yeah, you'd have to just.
If I saw the picture, I could probably tell
Probably.
you where it is.
But yeah, I was like,
have an
I wanna see-
idea.
I was like, what the heck?
Because I have a couple.
That's messed up.
I have a couple spots that I found too, where it's
Yeah.
like just like a ATV trail.
Honestly,
Somewhere,
probably
and
the
I'm like,
only reason is because you haven't asked.
There isn't
Probably.
there isn't a
'Cause that's
lot
small town
that's
stuff.
I guarantee.
restricted
Well, knowing
out
who
there,
it is,
but
yeah.
there might be a place or two that like there's just no like trail leading up to it,
Or
Yeah.
maybe
not
like you
really
could walk.
supposed to go up
Just-
there.
Yeah, or maybe you could
going.
walk it, but they could drive it. Or
Yeah,
something like
that might be what he meant. I
Might have been.
I got a hunch. Yeah,
But
I bet I could.
I don't know, but it was gorgeous, and I was like, "Dang, dude,
Yeah.
what the heck?"
Yeah,
I want to see.
I love it out here, man.
And then one of their things
Don't
was
come
like, they were like, we have to we have to find sushi in everywhere we visit, and I was like, oh
Oh
gosh,
no!
Maverick?
And then no,
Oh no, Far
West,
West.
that's
Yeah, I
sushi.
forget
Yeah.
that.
and they were like, it was actually good sushi, and I was like, okay, because I literally that was my first thought, and I was like, he goes, we have to find sushi in every place we visit, and it showed a shot of Pump and Pantry, and I was like, no.
No, do not.
I was like,
The
please
gas station
don't. I was like, this documentary is going to take a wild turn, and then it cuts across the street, and it showed Far West. I was like, oh yeah, duh, Far West has sushi. I was laughing, but and then the wings
watch
at
this
Wilds, they discovered the one good culinary thing that's like
Yeah,
top tier in
I
Chadron.
do like Wilds.
I do too.
I
They
don't
actually
think
have
I've ever
good-
eaten it that it
we've
wasn't
had a
good.
good steak there too.
like
Wilds
Yeah,
Wilds
and then
wings are
their-
phenomenal.
Their pretzel.
Their wings are next
mix,
level.
They're one of like
the
4
seasoning they put on it.
places in the entire west half of the state that has corn nuggets, which are like my favorite food, maybe ever. Like they're up there. They're up there. Not quite probably that, but like they're one of my favorite like side dish things or like appetizer
Yeah.
things. I love corn nuggets so much.
I'm a big
But-
fan of most forms of nuggets.
Yeah, I like all nuggets.
I'm a fan of most forms of corn.
Chicken nuggets,
That too.
testicle
corn.
nuggets.
Wow.
They're all good. Rocky Mountain oysters.
Okay.
Anybody
You
that
said those
doesn't
twice. You must really like them.
All right. Okay.
the second time was for clarification, right?
That-
right,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
Whatever.
In case you didn't understand what I was talking about.
Oh, I want
That
to make
was
so many
jarring.
inappropriate comments right now.
Yes, I was
not
jarring
going
on purpose, and then I explained the jarringness.
I mean,
Tanner,
But
stop
anyway.
talking. Inside joke. Inside joke.
Patreon
gets that
Patreon
one.
will understand
Patreon
it.
gets that one.
Well, they don't get it yet. They'll understand
will-
it in 2 days.
Yeah, you get the
You'll get the
Oh,
joke
yeah, I
in 2 days. Yeah, because Patreon comes out.
I
after.
get the key to that lock in a couple days.
yeah.
We record
That's
the
fun.
Patreon first, so then we can allure to the jokes.
fun.
allude.
Oh yeah, what I say?
Allure.
Allude to
That
the
too.
jokes.
Allude.
Probably.
Allure to
Anyway.
jokes. That's a different kind of joke.
Can you
Yeah.
stop?
What?
Do the wiggle dance.
The thing you were doing.
I would like to elude you
What's
now.
happening?
Instead of
What is happening in here?
But anyway, if you ever wanted to feel
Oh, Danny
like
go.
what
Yeah.
Shadron, if you ever wanted to feel like what Shadron feels like, or you're not from here and you want to see what our town's like, shoot me a message and I'll send you a link to that documentary and promote the. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Cool.
But anyway, well,
I need caffeine.
I do too.
too. Me
I'm
too.
drinking a bum energy, but like I said, I'm also drinking a Italian soda from Just Love Coffee Cafe.
And I'm drinking a
Ooh,
liquid
that was- I
death
got a
because I've
good
been
one.
low caffeine lately.
Low caffeine.
I mean, I'm high caffeine, but that's why I'm low caffeine.
It's
on
because
the
you're taking
show,
caffeine
'cause
from
I'm
other
already
things.
like
I just grabbed the lowest.
I'm already
amount
like
of
1,000
Actually, that's not
milligrams
true.
in.
So this isn't even the
Like
lowest amount of
1,000.
caffeine that I had.
So actually, I wanted to shout out.
sounded like chit.
I do. Yeah. I wanted. I got.
Do it, lady.
I got my hands on.
Happy birthday.
Do it. Do it, lady.
Oh, goodness.
Where's your soundbite on that one, huh, sir?
I'll just document it so that we can.
You just
insert
add
it
later.
and
All
post
right,
it.
all right.
But the
Did you just like groan into the mic?
oh, I didn't mean to.
That might have
I
been
don't know
me.
who it was.
Oh.
I think it was me.
It's usually
Like,
it's usually
let's not
Phil.
do that.
Actually, that's right. I should have talked about it in the thing. Was all the mouth noises on the song. Anyway,
That's
what was I talking about? Oh yeah, I got my hands on before it releases insanity from Insane
They're
Labs.
saying it's not going to release, and that anybody who got it, you are part of history.
What?
They're saying that was the only batch they're putting out.
That breaks my heart because, my goodness, that is a pre-workout.
So I have a conspiracy theory about it.
What?
So they're coming out with one that's a black label, rated R, only recommended for 18 plus. Like they were talking it up, saying that it's their new one that's coming out in a few weeks. Is they're calling it rated R, and their legal team told them that they need to do this and this and this and this and put warning labels on it because it's so powerful and so strong. I think it's insanity. They just are relabeling it.
That'd be good. That'd be good advertising. That'd be good. It's smart.
And if anybody knows how to do Insane Labs,
He's so good at it.
they're so good. If I ever need coaching on, like, I start a business and I'm like, hey, I need some
Marketing.
coaching on the marketing
Those guys
stuff.
are good at marketing stuff.
I'm giving those boys a call because, man, they get it.
We
They're
have
good.
a conspiracy theory about it too, that it's going to wait for a specific episode. But
Yeah.
Mike and I have been talking about it. You two don't even know.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it after the podcast. But anyway,
I'm mad at you now.
We're running conspiracy theories on Insane Labs now.
You don't
We're
have to-
watching you.
don't
We're
need to
watching you.
just
Figuring things
withhold
out.
that from
We're
me.
We're
figuring
watching you,
things out.
Labs. We're watching you.
we figured
We're figuring stuff
doing
out.
things. Anyway, I also shout out Insane Labs. They're amazing.
We love you guys. It's the
and
only
I
reason
can't
we're
wait.
doing it.
And part of the reason this is I'm wanting to hype up the owners episode that we'll be recording in a couple weeks. I mean, after that, we're going to record an
Did
episode.
not sound like a burp.
What did it sound like?
These two.
Oh my
What
god.
did I do?
So
I was-
bad.
I just I had carbonation. I had to get rid of it.
Anyway.
Leave me alone.
Sounded like
leave me
you lifted
alone.
your leg from the chair.
Just over there mouth farting.
I'm getting bullied.
You deserve it. Okay, so anyway.
Like I hear it. I'm raising 2 boys, okay? Anyway.
Anyway, we'll have Javi Date on the. No, that was funny. We'll have Javi Date on the show after the COCOO
I thought you were
are on the
spelling
show.
cocaine.
Wow.
You're gonna have to cut that. You're like COCA.
No, that's not
I was
getting
like,
cut.
what?
That's staying. The whole thing is staying. I just want you to know
We're
that.
having that on the show?
Where's your head at right now? Miss Courtney?
Yeah, what is going on?
You went straight to that. You didn't think maybe he was spelling your name or something with a CO in there? You just went straight to cocaine? I
We
mean,
do not need to have a gaslighting segment of this show. Thank
Yeah, we do.
Oh my gosh! But I'm kind of hyping up their stuff. But anyway, they came out with a thing called Proline, which is
dude,
it's
so
both
awesome.
whey protein and bovine collagen, which I already buy beef collagen. And I take it for my joints. And so now I have a protein shake that has it in it. And so, but it is, Phil, the best tasting protein I have ever tried, ever.
I thought their protein was smooth,
Period.
like their regular protein was smooth compared to any protein I've ever had. This stuff is like it no chunks at all. Period. Like doesn't clog.
I'll let you try some after we get done.
Okay.
Smooth.
You haven't even told me about this yet.
The flavor I got is
It's awesome.
horchata. If I went to a Mexican restaurant and ordered a horchata and this came out, I would compliment how good of a horchata it is.
Yeah. I got
That's how, and it's a protein shake.
I got
and
the
that's okay.
blueberry,
Can I
so I
taste?
was expecting
Yeah,
it to be mildly blueberry-ish. Like protein drinks usually are mildly whatever they are, unless it's like chocolate's pretty chocolate. But most of them are like vanilla with a little bit of flavoring. So what I expecting? No, this was like blueberry. Like, yeah, I felt like I was Willy Wonka. I was checking to make sure I wasn't turning purple.
Well, I'm excited now.
Turning violet.
so
It was
good.
that level of blueberry punch. Like it's crazy. This new stuff they're making is nuts.
And because it's half, I don't know if it's half, but it's got the collagen protein in it. It actually is cheaper than whey protein because whey is so.
Wait a minute.
No way.
Whey is hard to find right now.
Yeah. Got that.
But whey protein is really expensive right now because a bunch of the main big like companies have started to like by the way. And
Well, and everybody's trying to buy it up because it's in such high demand because everybody's
in
got
such
this
high demand
protein
right
thing now. Yeah.
So you're telling me that for less money,
that's delicious.
I get protein and help my joints.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
well,
it's the
here's
best.
the thing too.
Shut up. Let me
Zero
finish.
carbs, zero sugar.
Mike is
Bro.
never going to let you finish.
Go. Do
Okay,
it.
finish.
No, I'm not going to finish now.
Finish. Bill, finish. What were you saying?
And it tastes better and is smoother.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay, that sound like a distinct product placement.
You know, and I'm
I
not
just
even-
wanted
telling
clarity.
me-
I legitimately
No.
just wanted
No.
clarity.
It's funny.
Well,
I
and
figured
obviously
you did,
we-
but it's
we
like,
don't
you're
just-
telling me.
We don't just pander to
No.
everybody. Everything.
No,
we
I'm
do on
literally
the show.
bewildered
So this
by the
is
fact
Yeah.
that that's a
Yeah.
thing.
It's
And-
crazy.
And if you understood how much protein I have had from how many different companies I've had protein in my life, because I've been lifting weights since I was 16 years old. And as you guys figured out, that's a lot of time between 16 years old and now.
Because you're like 123 years old right now.
And exactly.
Can we just keep raising it?
And now if you think, now if you
172 years old.
if you math in that up until my kids were born, basically, I worked out 4 or 5 days a week, every week,
Yeah.
sometimes even 6 for that period of time. And each workout was an hour to 2 hours. You realize like that's a lot of gym
Over the
time.
course of
It's a lot of
250
time that you
years.
spend away from your wife.
Yes. And
Quarter of a
lot of
century.
hours.
That's a lot of time.
it's a lot of time.
I'm talking a quarter of a century.
Yes.
Quarter of a millennium.
Yeah.
Quarter of a century.
Yes.
That's more realistic.
I was going to say, no, that's actually correct ish.
That's what I was like. I thought you were exaggerating.
You started
Took it
making-
back into reality
you
in the
said it
middle of
like,
nowhere.
Yeah, you said it like you were joking, but I was like, no, but that's correct, Mike.
But Abraham Lincoln came to me for advice on protein shakes. And I said, man,
like,
you're
listen.
not going to be around for it, but in the future.
And in return, you need to tell me, are you actually a Nephilim?
Oh.
Abe Lincoln. You have to.
I thought you were
asked
asking
Abe
me.
Lincoln.
And I was like, I
can
don't know
tell
how to answer that.
No, I
I'm
was
kidding.
quoting you
How else do you
talking
live
to
so
Abe
long?
Yes,
Lincoln.
okay.
Did you ask him?
Good. Thank you. No, because he's. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know where we're going with this.
This is chaotic. I love it.
Yay.
Oh, man.
But Proline, good. Insanity, good. They're making good products. But
Yes.
Coming to spit take there.
that's why they didn't have time to come on the show up
Right.
until
Yeah,
now.
they've
Because
been doing a lot over there. I'm doing a lot.
For sure.
What else was I was going to promo? Oh yeah, don't forget to subscribe on the Patreon. Patreon.com/BA Bigfoot. You get an extra episode for $5 a month, and you get an extra episode every week. And I'll put any of my like Bigfoot music or podcast music I make, I'll just post on there so you guys can listen to it. I've got a song that Patreon's going to get a chance to hear.
Like my face still hurts from smiling listening to that song because it was
funny.
good. It was really.
It's
good.
not like
It's very fun. It's all,
yeah,
like, all
it's
good
AI
vibes.
music.
It's not
I'm
high
not-
quality, but it is good fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a lot of. It's a fun.
It's not
fun
meant to be
music. It's not-
serious.
yeah, because I'm not
It's not
Mike
lyrically
in
brilliant.
making music. I am AI music, and
Yeah.
so it's not. This isn't like my dream to make music or
No.
anything like that.
No.
I'm just
It's
having
fun and silly and it
making
makes you laugh.
stupid
It's
songs.
good.
Yeah,
It's fun.
My music is that.
Your
So,
poetry
okay.
writing's a lot more serious though.
I do take poetry writing.
Yep.
In the ancient days of giants, when the earth was wild and free, a creature roamed the valleys, cloaked in mystery. Is he born of angels' blood and man, a Nephilim so tall, or a shadow of the fallen, yet he the maker's call? He's a biblically accurate Bigfoot, with a lineage from the skies. Not a myth or legend, but a truth that never dies. Is he a remnant of the Nephilim, a titan standing tall? Or does he have the word of God upon him, the last to hear the call?
Bigfoot affirmation.
Okay, let's do
I got
this.
it.
Wait, don't look at it yet.
Hold on.
He said, hold on and look.
I was looking at the number.
I was going to try to guess the number before you looked at it.
Why would you do... Okay. Yes.
Too
I haven't
late.
looked.
Oh, let me think.
I just blatantly lied.
28.
No, it is 73.
Aren't there only like 52
Courtney?
of them in there?
Oh, 43.
It's a year's worth, right?
Probably.
Courtney.
I don't know. 55.
Everybody was way high.
Well, and then I
11.
said 55.
Oh,
It's only 52 in there.
11.
11. So double numbers. Okay, I was on to something. No,
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Nope.
No.
No.
I love that Mike thought that it was going to be easier to guess the number with Phil looking at it than if he hadn't looked at it.
See, I'd have guessed 11 until
It's
he looked
magic.
at it,
'Cause,
and
like-
it messed me up.
No,
Yeah,
no,
that
he's
messed the
just
psychicness up.
doing some like
What's psychic?
astral projecting.
Yeah, he was going to
kinda-
time travel.
That's right.
Yeah.
and you
Well, I'm
guys
glad I
ruined it.
stopped you.
That's right.
Because
Okay.
Shouldn't be
predicting
doing
the actual
that.
future
Anyway.
is so much harder than actually just reading
The
Phil's mind.
Bigfoot affirmation
It's like
is...
Green.
It's
Something
like-
with green.
Yes, green.
Not really.
It's a color. Definitely a color.
Something about visibility not being visible. I did the John Cena sign with it.
Can't see me. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Every path leads to discovery.
I thought we were going to say destruction. Why is my brain so to discovery? Every path leads to discovery.
Yeah, you're discovering what's on the path.
Yes.
That's not as deep as it sounds.
Okay. Well,
Speaking of
that was
discovery,
beautiful. I have some current events that we should go through. Number one, this is breaking news today,
Do you
actually.
remember when we didn't actually have a whole lot of current events to talk about when we first started
Yeah.
this podcast? It was like,
Well, we also didn't focus on
We
current
did.
really
events a
didn't
lot,
think
but it's
about
kind
it.
of
But-
become
It's just
part
a
of
Yeah, but it
the
doesn't
news.
feel like you
Nuts.
have to work very hard to
it's
find a lot
nuts
anymore.
how much is going on.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay.
Okay, so this is fresh off the press.
Ooh.
So you remember how we talked about the CIA stole a bunch of stuff from Tulsi Gabbard's office?
Yeah,
She just stepped down from her position. She resigned.
I didn't know that.
What?
Makes me think CIA probably found something while they were investigating her office, which makes me think they found something on like a computer or something and they're blackmailing her.
Found or
If I'm being honest,
placed?
that's what it looks like to me.
Found or placed?
Or placed,
Or
possibly,
placed.
or
And
anything
she
of
knew
the
she's
above.
not going to get.
there is something in the
Who even
things.
knows what side anymore, guys?
But that's the thing. I will say this: I don't sides or not.
Yeah.
The CIA broke the law, stole the documents out of Tulsi
Got
Gabbard's office,
threatened to return them.
and still has not released them. So we know for a fact they were lying out of their butt. And so the CIA at this point is a rogue department that is no longer
true.
governed by our government anymore.
true.
And they've decided they've taken the
They're
law into their own hands.
vigilantes. They're
And it plays
vigilantes
into
then.
it plays into Mike's conspiracy theory that the CIAs are connected and they don't care about their local governments.
Yeah.
This plays into that.
I think
because
the government gets out of the
global.
way. They get out of the way.
Yeah.
for the
It's
CIA.
global
they
vigilantism.
resign rather than fight against what just happened.
Well, and if you know anything about how like forced resignation
I'm so
and stuff works,
so stupid.
Like sometimes it's hey, we have this and we need you to step down. If you don't step down, we will step you down.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's what this kind of feels
You
like.
know
what it feels like.
What I think is
She was one of the few people I like.
Well, that's what I was about to say. The thing that has driven me nuts the last few months is how many people that I believed were intelligent, had integrity, or at least some more than most in office in higher positions, that have either completely flipped or just left.
Yeah.
Like, just the amount of people that I had some degree of faith in as a human being have just lost it. Or whatever. It just... Yeah. Dude, holy smoke.
Too much
That's
intelligence
crazy.
doesn't do you any good in those positions currently.
Too much integrity, you mean?
Hubris comes into play, and
And here,
Yeah.
this is a friendly reminder. We had talked about this on an early episode. I wasn't planning on talking about this, so I don't have the receipts with me, but there are a lot of mega influencer pastors who are paid by the government to produce the content they produce.
Yeah.
Both in charge of congregations and digital influencers.
Yeah.
Who are pastors. There, and not a lot as in like, oh, I got to be skeptical. Every pastor is. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying a lot of the most famous ones are most likely on that payroll.
Yeah.
And in light of recent events that have occurred with that stuff, be very cautious who you trust that are famous in the pastoral world. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on.
Next.
So we've got a lot.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
Say
ticks.
so much more.
Yeah, I was going to get there.
Ticks.
So you know how they were talking about the tick boxes
You mean
and
like
all that
I
stuff?
was going to say you mean
Right.
like how one side of my face keeps twitching today?
Yeah, and how I just
Your
randomly
facial
make noises.
ticks?
Oh.
Yes,
So-
this is something we've been tracking for a while.
I came across actual video evidence of black unmarked helicopters flying into pastures, dropping off literal boxes of ticks. There's video evidence now.
Yeah.
Unmarked black helicopters. They then, the specific guy I was following, he documented that within a week of that video, he started finding like wildlife, like not his animals, but like wildlife showing up dead on his land.
Which
Wild, right?
Yeah.
I also want to point it out there that this is a fun fact. And everything in this show is just for fun. It's hypothetical, and don't listen to us. Don't believe us. Everything we say is just comedy. We're trying to make you laugh. Fun fact, ha ha ha. Bill Gates is legally allowed to genetically modify ticks and drop them off into the open. Ha ha, that's so funny.
yeah, yeah.
It's super fun.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Wait, how? Pause time out. How is that legally allowed by anybody? For anybody? Who? Why? What do you mean?
not just in America. He has deals with other governments to drop off genetically modified insects and have them become part of
Is there any context in that, like a purpose for it? Because I know sometimes when they will do stuff like that, I don't want to say insects or anything, but I know sometimes they do things like that. It is to get rid of an invasive species, or it generally, at least publicly, has some sort of purpose. What is the purpose they're saying? Is
The purpose is to make them like trying to get rid of and contain certain things within those species. Yeah,
right?
but
He's
clearly,
not an environmentalist, though, isn't he?
but
Like,
clearly
that's not
there's,
his
and
area of
that's my thing.
expertise.
That's my thing.
He's
How
not
is somebody
bioengineer.
how is somebody who doesn't have a degree in this, who has never studied this, well, at least not officially in any official capacity, how is he getting grants and contracts to oversee this stuff? Period.
And
I don't
why
care.
is it so shady?
Yeah, it's
that's
so
my
shady.
my big thing, because like it's not like biological control of ecosystems is a new thing. Like that's
Right.
a thing that's been done plenty of
Right,
times. We stock trout. We use praying mantis to get rid of aphids, like stuff like that. Like that's a thing that we do. That's fine. But like it's typically done by a government agency that's in charge of that, by people who are trained in that. Like that's what they went to school for, to understand how that all works.
Yeah.
Bill Gates is not one of those people.
Well, and then it's also with species that haven't genetically been altered, right?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if there's necessarily a precedent
Depends
for that or
on
not.
if you believe Lyme disease was artificially.
Well, I'm talking about
There's
besides
periods
that.
like previous-
I'm talking
previous-
about in like other
Oh,
invasive
gotcha.
species, like
Yeah.
we introduced the carp to help with this problem.
some people
and then
believe that-
the northern pike take over everything, and then this, and
So,
like now
some-
there's ragweed, that kind of stuff.
Some
Yeah.
people believe the panda was a created
I saw
species
that. I did see that.
in order to get rid of the bamboo problem.
I don't know what if there's a precedent
But outside of
for
that,
But
no,
still.
not really.
that or not. And I don't necessarily have a problem with using genetically modified organisms to, like, depending on context and like safety evaluations, stuff like that. But again, that's stuff that should be made public,
Right.
and it should
Well,
be
why-
administered
Okay.
by an
So-
agency that's meant to do that.
especially
my
if it would
question
be-
then-
especially if it's using government funds too.
So my question is, okay, just just hear me out on this. Bill Gates, if you're listening, just hear me out, man.
Oh, he is.
Totally. He's a big fan. He loves our jokes.
Well, I don't know about that. But
He loves our jokes. If you're going to genetically modify ticks, why not genetically modify them to be resistant to things like Lyme disease?
Yeah.
Rather than whatever you're doing. And then at the same time, just so we are aware, Bill Gates' company is also working on a vaccine for Lyme disease.
Wow.
Why are you profiting off of both sides of this?
Because that's how you know.
Foundation.
That's how you make
profit.
money.
Yep.
That's how you make money.
So that's all I'll say about that.
It's funny. When you said how can someone do that when you have the level of wealth where you are wealthier than 98% of the countries in the world? You can make your own rules. Yeah. You can make your own. Yeah. You can make your own path.
Yep.
To make more money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, have we shared about like the side effects besides Lyme disease for the ticks though too?
No,
like
the alpha-gal syndrome.
Yes, the Lone Star tick and the alpha-gal syndrome.
I don't know if we have, but one of the symptoms is
because not only are these being dropped and like killing livestock, but if you get bitten as a human, you get alpha-gal syndrome, which is I was talking over the top of you. Yeah,
steal it from
no,
me.
you're fine. Alpha-gal syndrome, which gives you meat and is it dairy too? Allergies.
Yeah, I think so.
And
I'm gonna let y'all know.
And Bill Gates is also
red meat specifically.
Red meat.
Red meat.
Red
well,
meat.
it's
red meat allergies.
I think chicken is the only meat that is not included in the allergy.
And Bill Gates is funding, like efforts to like produce more lab grown meat. So it kind of all starts to.
I'm gonna let y'all know that if that happens to me, you will not be hearing from me anymore. For legal reasons, that's a joke.
Well, and what I would probably do if I found myself allergic to red meat, I would do the good old fashioned version of like introducing it to myself.
Yeah.
I would start with a rice size, and then I would move up. After a week of giving myself a rice-sized piece of meat, I would start moving up, and I would move up until my body eventually started recogning that, hey, this isn't.
Nope. I'm gonna baptism by fire. I am going to tank. I'm gonna tank a 72-ounce ribeye. if
he's giving her the old Taco Bell treatment.
If that's how I'm gonna go out, then so be it. If that's my ticket home, then fine.
Sounds good.
Well, seeing some of these videos too about how small the ticks actually are too.
Oh yeah, ticks are so small.
Like, yeah, well, like these ones that they're finding being dropped, they're like micro, so like super small. So then it's like they want to keep people afraid of going outside.
Yep, and one of the best cures for literally every ailment that exists is vitamin D. And you get it best by going outside, fresh air, sunshine.
I thought you were going to say one of the best cures is a Lyme disease vaccine.
Oh no.
Nope. Next thing.
Fox News
Anyone
yesterday.
Want to try that? Sorry.
Yep. I was going to get to that one too.
Yesterday, Fox News aired an interview with Admiral Robert Howard, who is very, very clearly wearing a mask.
Yes.
Oh, you did see it?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I feel like I've seen that before, though.
Fox News has come out and said, no, that's video compression artifacts.
Yeah, I saw that too. Somebody said that.
It
doesn't create
latex compression artifacts evidence.
What it looked like is Homeboy's button came unbuttoned. If you look closely, his top button is no longer buttoned, and it looks like it was buttoned.
Yeah,
it came unbuttoned,
like over the top of where you would wear
where it would be at
your mask.
Yep,
yeah.
It looks like it came unbuttoned because it's not like straight like you. Because if you were going to be on Fox News and you knew you were going to be on Fox News, you would make sure you looked good. It looks like he buttoned it, and then at some point it popped open because it had that weird like fray, like it was folded weird, and so it looks like it popped
looks like
open.
When somebody wears one of the old what are they called?
Looks like Mission Impossible style.
So like Cousin Eddie when he wears like the shirt, but he doesn't tuck it into the shirt.
Yes,
That's what it looks like, but like on his neck, like he didn't tuck it in all the way. Yeah.
And the mask looks like white chicks.
There is, in today's world of video, that does not happen. That was Courtney, not Phil. That
It didn't sound like a burp.
and that was not me that time. Anyway, that dude was wearing a mask. So
that was delicate in comparison.
If it was actually even him, I've seen conspiracies that it's not even him, because they showed pictures of that admiral from weeks ago, and like forehead wrinkles and all that stuff. And in that video, no forehead wrinkles, no nothing.
Like,
it's
that's
just
smooth. Either
somebody's wearing a mask.
Either Admiral Robert Howard is either not a real person and he's wearing a mask all of the time, or somebody was impersonating him and wearing a mask on the show.
By the way, have we seen the real Jim Carrey again? Did he?
I believe so.
Well, not since he came out and said that he was doing a movie thing. Because he came out and he's like, I exist, and then he disappeared again.
Okay. Yeah. Did he look the same or back to his normal self?
Back to his normal self is what I...
Yeah, I've seen ones where it's back. But then again, there was theories that was an old thing before.
Because then I heard like that he did, blah, blah, blah. He took the mask off and you could see him, blah, blah, blah. And then I heard that was AI too. And it's just...
There's a lot of
this
different
age of misinformation is nuts.
It's terrible.
Okay. All right.
Can't validate anything.
Next piece of news, and this is kind of the sad one, and I want to be as respectful as I can be while sharing the conspiracy part of it. But Kyle Busch just died at age 41 to a mysterious illness. He literally was just racing trucks not too long ago and won.
I was going to say.
And in his interview, he even talks about, he's like, well, how do you enjoy this so much? And he said, man, just because you never know how many more of these you're going to get. And then he got a mysterious illness, and then within a week was bye-byed. The conspiracy about it, and again, I want to be as respectful as possible, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. So in the same light as like when Charlie Kirk had been assassinated, it's like I want to be as respectful as I can be while still being able to like
people are terrible
look
lately.
at the conspiracy in a respectful way.
Yeah.
So I will just word it this way. Kyle and his wife were 6 months ago sued an insurance company that settled undisclosed out of court with them for a insane amount of money. Allegedly. They did for sure settle out of court, and they did successfully. But basically, in my mind, if an insurance company settles with you out of court, you successfully sued them.
Yeah.
And so they did sue an insurance company 6 months ago. Is it weird? I don't know. It is kind of weird. Specifically a life insurance company. I don't know. It's weird. But with that, I would like to. I'm going to move on. I don't want to dive into it too much.
Rest in peace, Kyle. Man, man, that's crazy that he was only 41. I remember.
Not very old.
No, I was going to say I remember 41. Hearing his name when I watched a lot of NASCAR up until I was probably like 12 or 13 years old. Like every Sunday, we'd get home from church and root for Jeff Gordon. Like that was our jam, and. I remember hearing Kyle's name a lot. A lot. He's been around for, man, he must have started like right out of high school. Like he was pretty young when he started. He had to be really young when he started out, because that's been a long time. He was only 41. That's crazy. That sucks.
Next one, let's do the leader of Cuba's army, sister, has been found living in Boca Raton for the last 3 years, and allegedly started a construction company the moment she moved there, and this construction company doesn't do anything. How is the leader of a army that is not allied with America allowed to get a passport to live in America? As soon as it was discovered, it got pushed, and then Marco Rubio revoked her visa and bye-byed her back to Cuba. Knowing people who have tried to get into this country the right way, who are here for school and other reasons, it blows my mind that cases like this exist when it's so difficult to come here like the right way. This is weird. But anyway.
Money and power and knowing the right people.
Yep, that's what it took. And that says... Anyway. There were 17 earthquakes around Area 51 in a 24-hour period.
It's because they listened to our podcast.
Yeah, so the government actually came out and said that scientists have said they do not think it was from underground nuclear tests.
Not from our new underground nuclear tests.
Underground nuclear tests.
That was it.
I mean, okay.
That's the only thing that the government has said
that
about
idea
it. They were like, hey, it's
most
definitely not this. It's like them going, okay, I know that there was a bunch of earthquakes around Dulce. It is definitely not a 7-story underground base
right?
that is partially ran by aliens.
That
it is definitely not
itself
that.
into a black hole. No.
Yeah, it's not that. Don't even
be like, did somebody suggest that it was underground testing?
That's
or did
yeah.
it just came over there.
No, it's not underground nukes. Okay, cool. So we know that is what it is. Then cool.
Right,
thanks.
sure.
Appreciate you.
Or that's bait.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I have, I think it's the last thing. Oh, nope. 2 things. First thing, second batch of UAP files have been released. On that,
Did hear that.
the star thing that you were impressed by. Mm-hmm. Have you seen that it has been officially debunked?
Wow.
I did see that.
It was a flare attached to a parachute. Yeah. In the video, you can actually see the parachute because they were focused on the flare in the center. You can actually see the parachute change in directions, and you can actually clearly see the parachute. They then backtracked the video, and it was from testing flares attached to parachutes. They've also found a couple of the videos are from other countries creating movies. They're from actual.
I saw some of the pictures and stuff were from.
It's from movies.
They in these files then?
Misinformation.
Because everything is fake and made up.
Yeah.
This is so nice.
So the second batch of UAP files have released, and again, I am so unimpressed.
So that the ones that are real in there, this is a theory, just for fun. But I saw that the reason they throw those in there is so that the ones that are real, they just blend right into the ones they proved aren't real.
Right. Well, we're in the age.
A Trojan horse.
Yeah.
We're in the misinformation.
You just mix it in with the mix a little real, a little fake, and then you can't tell what's real and what's fake.
Yep. And then so the last thing I saw. So have you looked into all the data centers being built?
Yes.
Have you looked into that a whole lot?
It ticks me off.
No.
I see so many posts coming up. Oh. It ticks too. Sorry if I spit on you. That was a hard one.
If you don't know about the data centers, look into the data centers. We might end up doing a whole episode on the data centers. I've been digging in a little bit.
My algorithm has been thrown in my way. It's
we might be doing a full episode after some of these Patreon requests. So to give you an idea of what the data centers are,
this is why I get worked up about AI, honestly. Yeah. That's one of the reasons.
So they're being built all over the United States. And there was actually a proposed one that was going to be built in western Nebraska at one point in time. And when you understand the logistics of a data center, you would question, why would that have ever been okay? So these data centers, they require millions of gallons of water per year to cool. It is then turned into water vapor and not returned to the source. Mm-hmm. So if you're living in an area that water is already scarce, it will make it more scarce because it takes it and they use fresh water. They're not using reclaimed water or anything like that. They're using fresh water to cool them. It gets turned into water vapor and released into the air. Millions of gallons per year. And
can I share real quick? I don't know if I'm stepping on your toes, but I've heard multiple different sources where they're going to put a data center right outside of this town, and it's going to use 4 to 6 times the annual amount of water that the city and the municipality actually requires just itself. And so they're literally not even just taking away all the water from these communities, but 4 to 6 times the amount. So where's that even going to come from? And anyways,
so let me tell you about the newest data center that they're trying to get past to build. This thing is called Project Matador. It's going to be bigger than, I think it was like 15 Disney Worlds would fit inside of this data center. And the crazy, so you might think, okay, these things are, they're jobs, right? No. Each one of these facilities only hires 1 to 3 people to run them. So these giant data centers that are using all the resources are only actually bringing back 3 jobs worth of income back into the economies that they're taking all of this from.
So if it doesn't leach out all the water from the area, it's going to completely tank the town's economy.
Another fun fact about these data centers that is really frustrating is they release millions of pounds of greenhouse gases back into the atmosphere.
Yep.
Yet I'm the problem. Okay?
Yeah.
So this newest one called Project Matador, it's going to require 16 gigawatts of power to run. To give you an idea, that is more than the whole state of Colorado. For this one data center that they're planning on building, or they're hoping to build at least. It will require 1 billion gallons of water to operate per year. And is 15 times, I think it's 15 or 16 times bigger than Disney World. And it will employ 5 people.
Can anybody tell me who actually wants this? Like, who is
apparently it's an AI problem. So apparently our government is afraid, because our government, this is the theory. Our government is afraid of losing the AI war to China, because China has already been investing in the future of AI and building like nuclear power plants all over their country. And their population is declining enough that they have to win the AI war, or they will no longer be a superpower. America wants to ensure they can't. So America is ensuring that we don't lose this war, and are building these data centers. These are is AI data centers, basically. They're building all of these data centers to ensure that we win that race. Because if you lose that race, you lose your superpower ability. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your arsenal is. If you lose the AI race, you are no longer the leading superpower of the world. And so the theory is that they're doing this stuff. But I have a few just simple questions. Why can't we build them in cold climate areas? Why are we building them in the middle of the United States?
In the middle of the desert. So many of these are in like Idaho and Utah.
Why are we building them in hot places that require...
We literally have Alaska.
We own Alaska. We own territory in the Arctic Circle where the ground never thaws.
Yeah.
Build it in the ground in the Arctic Circle. Like,
what percentage of Alaska is uninhabited?
Yeah.
Like 98 or something like that? Like most of that state is uninhabited. And it's the size of like, what, 60% of the continental? Lower 48?
Well, some people theorize that these data centers are not actually AI, that instead what they're doing is they're tracking the surrounding population. Because here's another question. Why, if all of these things are just AI, why are they being built in the highest populated areas? It makes no sense for them to not be in Alaska.
Right.
It makes more sense for them to build it in Alaska and to build all of them. Build all of them in Alaska in one spot. It would make more sense to do that. Yeah. But if you look at the map of all of the AI data centers, it perfectly matches with the United States population. So the theory is that they're actually tracking the people. So we've got things like these flock cameras and stuff like that coming out. So some people are theorizing that it's the next step in government overreach.
Public surveillance.
So, can I throw out I want to throw out a Christian conspiracy. Were you going to say something?
Mike's been very quiet.
Sorry.
He's been thinking.
There's been some crazy stuff that has popped up across my algorithms the last few days, and I kind of just shuffled them aside because I was like, oh, that's interesting. And it all kind of has to do with this stuff. One of them goes way back when we actually talked about it on the show a little bit with the idea of different levels of civilization, and eventually human civilization. If we continue to grow as a civilization, we get to the point where the earth just is not, there's not enough resources on the earth. So we start mining, remotely mining resources from other planets and we bring them here, right? And part of that is creating another layer, like in the ionosphere of Earth. So a mechanical Earth that is a shell of
like
Earth.
Like a crust.
Yeah. Like a crust in the ionosphere based on the electromagnetic pull of the Earth. And this is like real science stuff. They have allegedly, all the countries have the resources to build the first one of these. So we'd have a ring. We'd have a ring around Earth. And it would be clear up in the ionosphere.
Didn't we just talk
and you
about
could
this?
actually live up there. Like they would create entire,
like another level above,
like a whole another Earth, like Earth 2, like in a ring, and it would have gravity and everything else because of the electromagnetic pull and all the things. Yeah, they've got the science figured out. They've got the resources. They just haven't started building it yet. So I'm wondering if maybe that's why they're building these where they're at, as big as they are, is that would be the base as we build up to the sky. I've never heard a story like that where we try to build a giant building to the skies and what could go wrong with that. But
yeah,
maybe you've read something about that.
I don't know.
I have an alternative theory.
Okay. I just thought it was interesting because, like I said,
Yeah.
I've seen those things and I'm like, I don't know. That seems lofty and crazy, but I mean,
Yeah.
crazy things.
I'm a pastor. I like to read the Bible. I do the things. And in the end times, during tribulation period, there's the thing called the mark of the beast. And now the big argument that everybody's been having, and this, I will assure you that most of anyway, I won't get into that because we don't have time. But how could they possibly make it so that you couldn't buy, sell, or trade without the mark? The only way they could do that is by creating a camera system that runs independently across the entire world, across at least our country, and is ran off of something that individuals wouldn't have to look at, which would be ran off AI. And then that AI then would be constantly computing and tracking every single person within that country. So that if you didn't have the mark of the beast, you couldn't even move without being sensed by this system. I think that they're a theory could be that what they're doing is they're getting ready to unroll and unravel or
Roll out.
There we go. They're getting to roll out that system in order to control things because they've got the digital ID stuff now. And you've got, again, flock cameras and you've got all this other stuff. Like little old Shadron has flock cameras. It's crazy. And so
we've got the tech where they can identify people by their heart rhythm and stuff and find them in the middle of nowhere. Like,
the amount of computing power it would take to do that for every person on Earth would take about as many data centers as they're building.
Yeah.
That's a coincidence, right? It's got to be. Weird coincidence.
This show's all for fun. Don't believe anything we say. This is meant to make you laugh.
This was a heavy
so fun.
current events section.
Let's do something lighter.
Let's talk about the medical field.
Oh,
my
okay.
God.
All right. I want to start off saying this.
Stressed already.
As somebody who's grew up in a medical family and have a lot of friends and family in the medical fields, I want to say this. I truly believe that those who are becoming nurses and doctors and work in the medical fields are not the problem and have never been the problem. So I want to say that. I think that everybody who is, not everybody, but the bulk of people who go into the medical field and work as nurses and doctors and surgeons and all of the above, that they entered into that with the best of intentions in order to help people. Some people might have entered into it with ulterior, just they want to make a lot of money. Some people might have done it for that reason, but I don't believe that they're like they have secret knowledge that they're hiding from us. I don't believe that for a second.
Well, and if you want to meet some people that are probably the most frustrated people with the medical industry, it is people that work in the medical field. Yeah. They are everybody I know, they're so frustrated with the medical industry as a corporation, you know.
It's funny that you come from a family, like a medical family, and like a lot of your family members are in the medical field. Mm-hmm. I come from a family with a lot of medical issues and medical issues myself, an extended family with the medical issues. So both sides represented.
And, I think what you're saying can be extended into a lot of other fields too. I know we're talking specifically about this today, but like
even in the education field,
nobody's more frustrated with corrupt police, law enforcement, with corrupt politicians, with corrupt
pastors.
Than people in those fields that do it right.
Yes,
like the people. No, you're You're perfect. Thank you for like that. A perfect other example of people who work in a field and see corruption in that field and are just frustrated beyond belief.
Because you feel like the little guy.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Well, and you feel... If... I can't speak for anybody in the medical field that, I don't... Based on what you're saying, I would bet that the people that you're talking about that that are in there would say the same thing as me, where it's like, I feel like kind of guilty, like just being a part of the system that has problems. Mm-hmm. Like you kind of feel like, man, why can't I fix this? I feel like I should be able to help fix this. Right. And you can't. Yeah. And it's just like, that's frustrating. That sucks. It feels bad. Mm-hmm. And so, just to further reinforce your disclaimer of like, we're not saying that you are part of the problem if that's you.
Yeah. And being the face of that problem that people see. Right. Because I have people come into the school. I've had parents come into the school before and accuse me of conspiracy theory things and being part of that. And you're collecting money from the government to poison our kids. And I'm like, I'm not getting a paycheck.
Right. Yeah, for real.
I'm getting that teacher paycheck. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yep.
But just because you're the face that they see in a system that they don't agree with,
right?
You're the one that they accuse you of it, and you're not part of it. You're not part of that part of the system. You work for the system, but you're not part of the system.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But that said, getting into kind of I want to start a little bit, just go back in time a little bit. I don't know what you guys came up with. We just kind of are just melting pot. Everybody can share their conspiracies.
Smorgasbord of...
There's so much stuff.
Yes.
And so today I want to focus more on the actual medical industry. And then next week talk about the insurance industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so to kind of spearhead this a little bit, one of the biggest complaints we talked about during the current events was Bill Gates with the ticks and stuff.
Right.
And creating medicine and stuff like that. What if I told you that has been a long-standing tradition of the wealthiest man in the world who lives in America getting themselves involved in the medicine and pharmaceutical companies in the United States?
How about that?
Would you be surprised?
No.
I am shocked, flabbergasted, one might say, to learn such a thing.
My flabbers are gasted.
So this all begins to go back to what period of time do you think this goes back to, Mike?
I'd say heard that before? The mid 1880s.
What? Wild! Whoa. It goes back to that same time period. This is insane.
Really?
Yeah.
I bet Bill Gates was alive in the 1880s.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a whole different conspiracy theory. We can get to that.
He's reptilian.
We'll get to that another day.
They live long, right?
So back in the day, prior to
he looks lizardy.
All jokes, guys. All jokes.
I'm not joking.
So back in the day,
I am. It's a comedy podcast. Don't kill me. I mean, sorry, Bill.
Okay, so back in the day,
Bill.
They. Oh my gosh!
I'm sorry.
What is it? What is in that energy drink?
I don't know. Phil's been unhinged today.
Oh man.
Okay, so
back in the day.
Back in the day, Phil.
Back in the day.
Back in the 1880s.
The primary like medicine was very holistic. It was very not and holistic in today's terms.
Yeah.
Means something different than even holistic would have meant back then. But back then, there was a very big working knowledge of how natural plants can do a lot of good things.
Right.
And we've actually gotten to the point now where, there's concerns with because when you go in for something, you're so easy to get prescribed, antibiotics that
something that you can't pronounce.
Yeah. So that now there's a genuine concern that the things that antibiotics treat will no longer be able to treat them because they're building resistance to the antibiotics.
Right.
Because people taking them incorrectly, not taking them long enough, not finishing their doses, 100 different reasons. And so they're beginning to get concerned with that. Well, one of the ways that they could have saw this coming and undid some of this was there are a lot of treatments to a lot of things. The antibiotics are what we use now that back in the late 1800s treated a lot of those things using quote unquote holistic medicine.
Right.
Sounds like you're going to sell me essential oils.
I know, right? But there was a lot of holistic medicine that went on, and it was when antibiotics came out, why it was such a big deal was because the worst of the worst things were what antibiotics helped with.
Right.
Not the general stuff.
Yeah.
And so now we use antibiotics for everything, not just the worst of the worst that can't be treated 100 different other ways. And if they had the hindsight, and again, I'm giving a lot of benefit of the doubt to saying there wasn't purpose in this, but given the hindsight, I think they would have taken holistic medicine a lot more seriously had they seen the future of where medicine would eventually go.
Yeah.
So to say.
Well, and antibiotics became kind of the go-to for everything.
Yeah, even stuff that weren't.
For people, not even in the medical field, because I know everybody I know who works in the medical field, all my friends and family and stuff that work in there, one of the most frustrating things they deal with was somebody's sick. They're like, well, can't I just get some antibiotics? And they're like, no, antibiotics don't treat this. You need to do this. And they're like, but I just need some antibiotics. And they're like, no, that's not how that works, and just those couch prescribed doctors, the WebMD people that try to do their own thing, but and
what if I told you there was something that occurs that it's very natural and you can use it?
Triggered by this.
It's a pretty cool thing. There's something that kills 99.97% of germs, bacteria, and viruses that we could just naturally put into our lives that it would have zero negative effect on us.
Is it Listerine? I've seen the commercials.
Nope.
Fire.
Brown Listerine.
Fire. I have a fun story about Listerine.
Okay.
There is a antimicrobial copper. Oh. If we were to put on high touch areas, wouldn't pass from person to person. They used to use antimicrobial copper in those places. That's why when you look at really old time stuff,
like
door handles
where you would touch the door and the door handles were all copper.
Yep.
Everything was copper because it killed all of the stuff. So, why do you think that they would want to go away from that? So let me tell you this story.
Did they claim it was like wartime efforts in conserving metals?
There's a lot. There's. Let's just go down this. Let's just go down a rabbit hole.
Oh gosh.
The wealthiest of wealthiest men back then was none other than John D. Rockefeller. And I'm just going to say allegedly. I'm going to say allegedly. And Andrew Carnegie.
I know.
They owned...
What? Carnegie Hall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one and only.
How about that?
They were extremely wealthy. And there was a giant oil boom. And they had all of the oil. Well, at one point... they started to realize that oil could be used, the byproducts of oil could be used for a lot of different things, including in the medical industry. And so Rockefeller decided, I'm going to get heavily involved in the medical industry. So he decides he's going to monopolize this and get heavily involved in it. So what he does is, let me find the name of this report. Where did I put it? So he goes out and creates and pays for a study that is going to be used for. Give me a second.
Can we just say buys a study? Can we just call it that? Because that's what it was.
Give me a second. Let me find it. I knew my notes were going to be rough on this. I didn't have enough time to organize it. Yeah.
I selfishly want to watch the Avs at 6, so they'll probably drop the puck at 6:20, but still.
How far are we into this? 105.
So we're not doing Jackbox.
Jackbox?
I asked Ted earlier if you wanted to do like Jackbox board games, something like that.
Oh, okay. Board games, sure.
Yes, exactly.
Not during Avs playoffs. Conference finals? No. It's the one time of year I actually put my foot down. So
I did a lot of the research on my my phone, and I didn't write it all out like I have been because I was like, oh, I'll be okay with this one. I don't need to do that.
Wow.
And now I'm realizing I needed to.
While we're talking sports in the edited out background, Shea got MVP again.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm literally done with basketball. The NBA is a joke. I don't even think Jokic should have. Wemby was it, dude. Wemby was the MVP this year. And the idea that they gave it to Flopper again, it makes me want to cry. Like, it's just so, like, it's so
watch
sad
hockey.
for
it's
basketball.
not fixed.
At
least not on a systemic level.
Genuinely, I actually, a couple weeks ago, I was sitting over at the office and I was watching sports on Prime and hockey was up and I was like, you know what? Yeah. I'm just going to watch some hockey.
It's cool.
I don't understand it very well.
It's cool.
I'll figure it out kind of at some point, but
my sweet mate from college, Cassie, she's a police officer up in Helena. She's actually really getting into it this playoff season. So.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I should have breathed
Rockefeller.
Sorry.
Rockefeller goes in and he funds this thing called the Flexner Report.
buys.
This report basically is provided and done for our government in order to basically say that the medical education needs a dramatic overhaul. Basically comes out and says that our government needs to close the vast majority of the schools that teach medicine and begin to standardize medical training. 1910. Mm-hmm. So he comes in and all of this holistic training, all of the just medical training in general now becomes basically standardized and basically the government, privatized. Basically the government gets to now control that, and they close like 3/4 of all of those schools down. And fun fact, after the fact, we now know that Rockefeller, the Flexner of the Flexner Report, was known, associate, and paid for by Rockefeller.
Your fun facts aren't very fun.
I know, it's kind of rough. So now we have our official education system for our doctors in America from 1910 on are now owned by, regulated by the very people who are now trying to profit off of selling their oil byproducts into the medical field. Now, here's where I'll say this. There has been some awesome advancements and awesome findings by this system that has been created. I don't have a problem with advancing the medical world. My problem is in the way that they did it, forced us, again, kind of going back to what I was talking about earlier, forced us to get away from holistic medicine, and they would then take people who learned holistic medicine and call them quacks, say that they weren't using real science and all this other stuff. Now, here's the thing. This is my favorite part. This same standardization process, one of the most popular methods of medicine that they supported was bloodletting.
I know.
The quackiest of all quack medicine that has ever quacked like a duck getting kicked on the 4th of July. That makes no sense. The quackiest medical procedure that has existed in America, existed in the world. That was their main go-to fix. And they're the ones standardizing the medicine.
It's funny.
That actually is funny. But not in like a haha way, like a oh my gosh.
We know a seedy underbelly of
It is funny you say that though, because they still do bloodletting.
I was going to say who are obsessed with
because I go in for bloodletting.
Yeah.
They don't call it that anymore.
Well,
that's what it is.
But it has a very specific purpose.
Right. It's not for
then everything. It was we're going to fix everything.
Yep. Got bad blood, we're going to take it out.
That's the problem is you got bad blood.
It's a leech.
Got demons in your blood. Yeah.
So, but the people who believed in using echinacea to numb your teeth rather than medicine, those guys were quacks.
Yeah.
But the people who felt like you had a ghost in your blood, and so we need to get the ghost out, that's basically, I mean, it sounds stupid, but that's basically what they believed.
Yeah.
That there was something in your blood that was had just gone bad.
Can we
It's demonic.
Hey,
I've never thought of it like that.
Hey, what do you
before.
do with my blood after you take it out?
But with all the stuff coming out lately, I'm like, we know a seedy underbelly of people who are obsessed with blood and human type rituals. And how about that? So I've never drawn that conclusion before. So,
So yeah, the petrochemical company, heavily influenced the pharmaceutical development. The pharmaceutical.
You know what?
Florida musical.
You know what?
Musical company.
I'm going to own it. The pharmaceutical development. And, quote, the medical education, quote unquote, did become more standardized after the Flexner report. But they claimed that it was based on a science. Yet the things that they taught were not based on science. And the homeopathic things that they were saying at that time that were crazy.
Not science anymore.
Right. The things that they were saying were the homeopathic things. Those were not science. All of them. They just like blanket approached it. And the crazy thing is they still like plants.
Can you see my eye twitching, Courtney?
Dude, my whole face is twitching.
My eye.
I was going to actually say that. I passed it on to you. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
I'm sitting here. I just feel my left eyelid sort of.
It's the eye that's closest to me too, of yours, that's twitching. So I feel like it's my fault. I'm sorry.
So along those same lines, it's still in the medical field because like I always look at like the psychology and stuff, being counselor and things like that. Mm-hmm. So there was a decade in there where they created these experimental psychological labs. It's where they started labeling people as having certain kinds of psychoses and things, and early on they didn't call it schizophrenia yet, but it was the early version of it. Hypnosis came about the same time. Any guesses on what decade that was?
Were they in the mid 1880s?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, guys.
Yep. Clinical
We're onto
observation of mental illness.
We're really on. I've never heard of anybody. I've never heard anybody else talk about the 1880s. We're really onto something new here.
I've started, anytime we start talking about something new, one of the first things I pop in is like, was anything going on in the 1880s?
I do too now.
Yes.
I do too now.
It's insane because almost everything, something was happening in the 1880s. Because like, first statement is, the 1880s were a huge decade for psychology, in bold letters.
Yep.
Oh, man. Yep.
This has nothing to do with what we're actually talking about, but I think that was the first time I've heard psychoses, the plural form of psychosis,
Yeah.
ever used.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever heard someone refer to like multiple psychoses.
Psychoses?
I don't think I've ever heard that word before.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Yep.
What?
I was going to make a joke, and then I'm like, no, that probably is.
Make it.
It wasn't going to be at your expense.
Oh, I don't care.
No. I don't
It doesn't stop anybody else ever.
So, okay. So the next step. So we've established the Flexner report. We've established which science is based in science. And they then begin to force the defunding of the holistic schools and heavily fund the medical schools that are now shaping the curriculum. Mm-hmm. So they are now controlling the curriculum based off of their money. And if they taught something against something that, like, if this medicine or this approach benefited the oil communities, it was taught as truth. In hindsight, we know this. And if it was something that favored a holistic approach, it was not allowed to be taught in the books. So now what we have is we have doctors who are being trained on what they are. And again, these doctors have the best of intentions. They're going in. They actually want to help people. But the information that they are getting is being controlled by people who have an agenda. So it's not that they're not being taught. It's that what they're being taught is being controlled. Okay? So they begin to force that system into that world. And so now the homeopathic colleges and universities that teach those things are now going out of business because they're being fined, taxed, whatever. And the ones that are heavily funded, like you're a doctor, you're wanting to go to school to be a doctor, and you go to, this shack that is functioning and they're trying to teach you holistic medicine, or you can go to this high class institute that is like decked out and cutting edge and all this other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do that. Then the next step, guess what else this Rockefeller person happened to have his fingers in? The media. So now your media begins to use things like holistic to explain medicine that is not science-based, and starts to create separate terms, and you begin to talk about how it's not as advanced, and this new medicine that is super advanced, this new college that is super advanced, this scientific advancement. And if somebody makes an advancement with a plant, that's pseudoscience. We're doing real science over here. We're advancing science over here. You begin to control the language. That language then controls people's perception of that form of medicine.
I feel like the Monopoly board game seriously undersells just how diabolically on top of everything and how devious this planning was of Rockefeller. That crap is insane, dude. That guy had it planned.
Yeah.
He really saw how can I control everything? Not just everything in this corner or this corner or these select corners, but the whole thing.
I was flipping through a documentary about medical field stuff too, and they were comparing. They were like people today, like Elon Musk and Bill Gates, are comparable to Rockefeller and Carnegie and all those people from back in the early 1900s. And it's funny that you're saying that, because even in this documentary, they were making that comparison, that they have the money, they have the power to control the narrative, to steer us through the cattle chute of putting money back in their pockets, and make it look like you're insane if you think differently. That's interesting.
And so then what's the natural next step? So you've got the media. What's another step in this cog?
Yep.
So the number one funder of the American Medical Association, who do you think that is during this time period, Phil?
No.
The American Medical Association was funded almost exclusively by Rockefeller.
Of course.
So now he controls who gets their license to do medicine. So now,
you can't even get licensed as a doctor.
How did he
look at even now?
So now
chiropractors. The chiropractors right now.
Pause.
Chiropractors
Pause time
are
out.
not recognized.
Yeah.
Pause. Time out. Hold. Okay. Did he strike a deal with the government to make that a requirement to practice medicine, or did that just become industry standard to the point that the government eventually went, screw it, you have to do that?
I'm guessing. I'm guessing he lobbied.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he lobbied, stuck it on some bills that were going through, and got them passed, like lobbyists do.
Well, they were all based off of the Flexner report. The Flexner report was the official medical education report, and everything was based off of that, basically. And so he's the one funding the research that's going into this stuff. So you don't have to fund the government if you're funding the research. Because the government's going to then do based off of what's going to be best interest for our people.
So you don't have to buy the government, you just buy the government's advisor.
Yep.
There you go. Okay.
It's literally
It's similar,
what they did with the
like, think
Flexner
about when
report.
people go to court, whoever, number one, can pay the most expensive top-notch lawyer, number one, who can have they're paid expert witnesses that's what they do. They go in and they are your expert witness, and they give you their side of things. You know, money walks, money talks. You know,
So now you own the American Medical Association, who is in charge of licensing the doctors and the nurses. So you now control who can and cannot practice medicine.
Yep.
So what's the next step, Phil?
By the hospitals, the places of practice.
You don't even have to do that.
Nope. You just run them out of your facilities that are already there. You set up medical centers.
Criminalize.
There you go.
Criminalize people practicing medicine that aren't your approved doctors.
Okay.
So if you want to practice medicine as a homeopathic doctor, you got your education from one of those homeopathic schools, your doctorate doesn't count.
Yep.
And you are now a criminal for practicing medicine as a doctor. And so you criminalize anybody who hasn't been educated by your curriculum.
All right.
To be fair, that's worked out super well, and no one who shouldn't have been practicing medicine has ever been legally allowed to practice medicine.
Yeah.
Ever. Especially not in like the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
for anyone who's confused.
Look how many fields have followed.
I'm being sarcastic.
Too, because like even like cosmetology, like you can get in trouble for practicing cosmetology.
Yeah,
without the
but like,
proper licensure and all that stuff.
Screw those people. But like, Dr. Death happens and it's fine.
The psychology degrees too, like you can't practice psychology even as someone as a licensed psychologist, licensed therapist. I have to be real clear if I'm giving some advice. This is not advice as a therapist, because I can get sued. I can get sued for acting as a therapist outside of my therapy, business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's crazy how much control there is when you really think about it.
I'm a pastor. My job is to advise Christians on how to follow God better, basically.
Right.
That's my entire career is based off of that. When I give advice, I have to be very clear and say that this is not medical advice and this is not psychological advice. I am just giving you advice based on this. And I also have to, they teach us when to stop advising and recommend counselors and whatever.
Yeah.
And so even within the religious field, there is enough lawsuits that we were even trained when you cannot any longer give advice. I think some of that's beneficial.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying anything against that in the sense that there are times where I am out of my element and these people do need to go talk to somebody who is trained in this.
Right.
But the fact that me even giving advice I could be sued for it.
Yeah.
And I'm giving advice on a religious thought process and how I would deal, that kind of thing. Oh yeah, we're trained. We're
I'm licensed in one of those fields, and I'm the same way. I've had parents that come and they ask for advice on school stuff, and if they're not a student at that school, I have to be real clear. I'm saying, hey, listen, I'm answering as a dad. I'm not answering you as a counselor right now. but this is what I do. And and if it is something I need to ask as a counselor, I say, here's a phone number.
Yeah.
Call the school or call this counselor, ask them, because they can answer the question. I have an answer for them. I would legally don't want to put myself in that spot.
I would hate to guess the number of times that I've had to tell someone this is not legal advice when answering a question about like whether they can get in trouble for a thing or like, how they should go about like, what should I do now after, any sort of legal interaction? And,
you're like full send.
I'm like, okay, I'm going to do my best to answer this question, but disclaimer, this is not legal advice. This is not legal advice. I say that so many times.
We're so controlled by licensure and lawsuits.
Yeah.
I
hate how easy it is to get a lawsuit.
Yeah.
File against you. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
I'm not going to start on that rant. We're going to continue on.
Yeah, no. So I want to go grill some burgers for my birthday.
Birthday burgers.
So you now control the education. Yep. You control the doctors. You don't control the doctors, but you control their education.
Yeah.
You control the laws. You control who can be a doctor, who cannot be a doctor. You now run things. Okay. You're basically the person. And that's when you begin to fund this now worldwide. And that's when things like the WHO come about. And when Rockefeller then invests into those worldwide governing agencies, they begin to advance things that direction. The one thing that I think is the silliest about all of this is that nowadays the homeopathic cures and treatments to things have begun making a comeback because people are starting to realize like, hey, I could pay $1,400 for this rather than this. But here's one of the adverse side effects that I think we don't think about is that they intentionally trained people to heal the symptoms. And that's what their
symptoms,
medical,
not the disease.
Yes. Yeah. Their medical system was built on this concept of curing the symptom, not the source. If you could fix the symptom with copious amounts of, I don't know if I want to say it on here, but like morphine. We'll say morphine. That's a good one that I think I can say. So if they're in a lot of pain and their pain goes away when I give them an amount of morphine, then they're cured, right? Well, that's the concept.
Treated. Treated is different than cured.
And that is what they built this system on, was treating the symptoms, not the source.
Yep.
And I think that a lot of that, no matter how much, because the doctors, again, I think doctors want to help cure. They don't want to treat the systems. But when the education system that they're built on has only taught them how to cure certain symptoms, there's a gap. And it's upon the doctor themselves to educate themselves. But again, we come back to now we have a problem. So if the doctor educates themselves and, hey, this holistic method treats and cures this, or this medicine treats the symptom and they'll feel really good for 6 months, and the doctor has learned that, and they begin prescribing the holistic medicine, now you can take their license away. Mm-hmm. And so even the doctors at this point in time, even the doctors who would lean into learning and getting the education outside of their education from Rockefeller at that point in time, all you got to do then is somebody reports them and boom, their license is gone and all of that time and training is gone, and it's worthless.
So I feel like that creates another effect as well, which is, I mean, it's an evident effect, but it's not, I hadn't really thought about like this being a part of the reason for it. You also, if you're that doctor that has, maybe you want to cure, but you've kind of been pushed towards just treating symptoms, you also, because of the control over who gets to be a doctor, you've also created an artificial scarcity. of doctors. Like you don't have enough people who are trained and know how to do this and are licensed to do this to actually treat everybody. And so you're just trying to get people in and out the door.
Hoop.
And so you've created an artificial scarcity of people who can do this, provide this service. So you're just trying to get people in and out the door, get them, keep them happy enough. Like, man, I'd really love to be cured, but I guess for now I'll just settle for my friggin', miserable symptoms not being here.
Right.
So get me in, get me out, friggin' continue on your way. And you keep people coming back with that as well. And so like you're not curing anybody. You're keeping them coming back. You're keeping them trapped in the system and you're creating more demand for, the people that are a part of your system.
Yeah. Here's what's interesting too. Like, so there are so many things that get fixed and solved and cured just by being a healthy person.
Yes.
And there's very little push for that outside of like the health world. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so the example I'm thinking of off the top of my head was, as I have type 2 diabetes, right? And I couldn't get my levels figured out forever. Couldn't get them figured out. And we finally figured out that I have a genetic disorder that's passed down on my Viking side of, the Vikings passed it down, Scandinavian stuff, where my body stores iron and it crystallizes. And that's what was causing my diabetes. So treatment for that is I went in and I had to, bloodletting. I had to let off blood. I had to donate blood, 3 to 5 units every 3 months. Right. I couldn't donate that blood because I have a genetic disorder. And I'm like, genetic disorders aren't contagious and it's full of iron, but because it had a genetic disorder connected with the blood, they would just dispose of it. So not only
give it to somebody with an iron deficiency.
I know. Well, here's the thing. Not only couldn't I can donate blood, but they just throw it away. Right. So I could do that for free, or I could go to the doctor and pay I think it was like $200 or $300 for them to do this procedure. When I started doing jujitsu and started lifting more seriously and started being a little more careful about what I eat, I went from having to go in every 6 months. I haven't been in there for it's been 6 years, 7 years since I've had to go in. My numbers have been fine, but I was paying for that treatment because that's what those doctors were taught to. That's how you treat this.
And the cure was free.
We need to get you into some combat sports or something where you're wrecking your red blood cells so we can recreate them and use that iron. That wasn't the answer. The answer was, come in and we'll get some blood from you and replace your blood and that kind of stuff. But so it's interesting that how much can be solved just by, and it's a discipline thing too. I mean, we live in a world where, gosh, I tell you what, nothing makes me more happy than, a gas station hot dog and some Cheetos, but it's not, that's not the answer.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's way easier and way cheaper to just not be healthy and just rely on treatment, rather than cures. So,
Well, and you begin to create medicine that has their own side effects.
Yeah.
And the long term of that, we don't know. They've never really fully done research, at least as far as I could find when I was looking this up. They've never done research into the long-term effects of some of the medicine that had been given in the past 2 generations before.
So I take a medicine that counteracts the side effects of one of my other meds that I take for my diabetes. So I take a med, it has side effects. And so I take another med that is for something else. But one of the side effects of that is that it cancels out the side effect of the other med.
Perks and debuffs offset each other.
So crazy. Yeah. It's really what it is. And, and you just, it's such a weird game. And, it's extra money that I pay to pharmaceutical company so that it can balance out the side effects of another drug that I get from that same pharmaceutical company. It's interesting. It's crazy.
Well, and that's one of my thought processes goes to the modern day fear of autism and getting vaccines and stuff like that it causes and whatever. I'm not going to make a statement on that here.
Not now anyway.
But Yeah, not on the main episode. But my thought, I kind of wonder, what if there actually is some truth to the idea of medicine causing it, but it was a generation, 2 generations ago, horrific medicine that is no longer allowed because it causes so many problems. What if 3 generations ago, them giving pills of radiation, there was they literally gave them radiation pills.
Yeah.
That to cure things, and it just ate their insides.
Here, eat some uranium.
This is the same people. This is literally the same people who are now funding the science.
Yeah.
They're the ones saying that this is a good cure for your stomach aches. And there was one that was considered a vitamin. It was just basically like uranium.
So back to Listerine. You know what Listerine?
Wait. Let me finish this real quick. I'll come back to Listerine.
Okay.
So I was going to say what if some of the long-term side effects of those things are now being passed down to our generation's kids?
Yeah.
Because of the horrific things that they were prescribed back in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s.
You think they'll be saying the same thing about our generation in
it's possible.
Years?
I would hope so.
Your grandson's going to run a podcast and be like, "Yeah, my grandpa took this and that.
He's on a medicine for this, and now I don't own teeth." It's like, what if?
I don't have a nose.
I think there's a valid question to that, and and from my research, I can't find they've never really done any long-term research into the long-term side effects of a lot of that, and some of that like giving people. Anyway, the dishes they made dishes out of radioactive materials.
Yes,
they made it out of lead for a while.
Yeah,
too.
too.
They couldn't figure out why rich people kept getting sick and dying.
Yeah. Meanwhile, copper existed and it was cheap.
Yeah.
Anyway, what are you saying about Listerine?
Oh, Listerine. Do you know what Listerine was invented for? It's definitely not mouthwash.
I've heard
killing wounds. I don't know.
No, it was a floor cleaner.
Oh gosh, I think I knew that.
It's a floor cleaner, and people got tired of their mouths being dirty, and so they started rinsing with the floor cleaner, and they were like, "Oh, nobody's dying from this." So
soap is soap.
So there you go. Yeah.
Floor soap, mouth soap.
Well, now they've figured out that Listerine actually is really bad for you because it kills all of the good bacteria too. It
kills all the bacteria.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so they've
apparently they've reformulated since they.
Well, but the original formulas still exist that kill everything.
Yeah.
So you have to buy the kind that doesn't kill, but it just kills everything.
Yeah.
Anyway,
crazy.
I'm not against mouthwash.
It is crazy when you look at history how many things were they invented this cool thing that was supposed to do a thing and it doesn't do the thing they wanted it to do.
Right.
And so they remarket it as something else and bam, it takes off.
Yeah.
Play-Doh.
Yeah.
Play-Doh wasn't a toy.
No.
Play-Doh is to clean wallpaper.
Yeah.
There is a lot. There's a lot of things.
It's crazy. Crazy.
But again, now think, okay, this guy who's an oil tycoon, all of the all of the byproducts of the things he's making, he's now using and repurposing into other things that have side effects that we don't know about and won't know about for long enough that he will be long gone by then, and he will have made his money, and it's impossible to sue him over it now because it's been 100 years. Mm-hmm. And so that is now.
Well, and let's look at his pockets, so freaking.
So wait a second.
It's him anyway.
Now, about money.
Now let's look at and ask questions why. We'll go back to the beginning of the episode when we were talking about the phenomenal philanthropist Bill Gates, who is in the Einstein file so many times. Why is he not in jail? Anyway, continue. So we've got Bill Gates now, who is basically doing the same things. Yeah, he's allowed to do it.
I would almost guarantee it's not a one and done Rockefeller straight to Gates.
Oh no,
I'm sure.
There was plenty of people in between there.
It's never stopped. It's just been an ongoing thing since America's been America.
Anytime a rich person who did not get rich off of health gets involved in health, I start to question.
Yeah.
If how many
Elon
wealthy
Musk people in health were in health though? Like, look at all the people that none of them were.
Right.
You know, and it's crazy that's the little corner market they all seem to find themselves in. It's a big business, that's why. And it's something that we as human beings have grown to think that we absolutely need. And I mean, we live longer than we used to.
Well, I think my generation the generation that came after me was the first generation for like 200 years that were not predicted to outlive their parents.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually regressing a little bit now. And they blame it on, but worldwide, but they blame it on obesity. But we're talking worldwide, not just America.
And we could totally get into big sugar. And what they did.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the same deal, different branch of health. Yeah, well, Big Sugar.
Yep.
Big Sugar did their thing, convincing everybody that fat was bad for you.
Yep. Yeah. And now they're like, oh wait, fat was actually way better for you than sugar.
Yeah.
Weird. What? But that's the thing is our healthcare system is built off of treating symptoms. And one of the things they've just came out and what can we get in with this? But they've just came out and there was this big, huge study was done that the number one way to battle Alzheimer's is leg muscle. The more muscle you have in your legs, the less likely Alzheimer's will affect you or cripple you later in life. So the more that the more you skip leg day, the more likely you are to then eventually have Alzheimer's. And so, again, going back to what you were talking about, one of the best cures for it starts when you're younger and being healthy and working out and being fit and doing those things and getting outside, going on hikes, leg muscles.
Yeah.
You know,
they're doing studies with like chromosome caps and stuff. We have like caps on chromosomes that can cause memory loss and Alzheimer's too. There's so many, like, it's something they've been trying to figure out. But have they figured it out and they're just not telling us? Because it's such a weird thing.
Well, there was that one guy. I have it as a side just in case we didn't have enough time or if we had too much time. But there's a dude that invented the sound resonance to cure cancer, and then was basically this system called him a quack and defunded him and ran him out of the medical world. And his research has been lost. But anyway.
Anytime somebody tries to do something for free, something bad things happen to them.
Yep. Anytime
big things like that. Like
anytime the Rockefellers can't control the money. Anyway, all right.
Crazy.
Next week, we will be back with talking about the insurance side of things. And that is, in my opinion, the bigger of the two episodes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This one was kind of wild, but
I went farther than I thought. I didn't expect the 1880 connection.
Yeah.
That thread keeps showing up.
Every time.
All the time. All right. Well, with that, don't forget to join the Patreon, patreon.com/BA Bigfoot. Don't forget to get your supplement things. Go try out Proline. It's some good stuff.
Yeah, it's good.
I don't know if the discount works for that. Probably not, because it doesn't usually.
It's pretty discounted anyway right now.
Yeah.
They have a fat discount anyway.
But try code BA Bigfoot at insanelabs.com, spelled with a Z.
Join the Discord.
Join the Discord. We keep forgetting to push that. Join the Discord. Follow us on TikTok and other social medias and Instagram, all those other. Just follow us. And don't forget to
be your BA best.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
In the ancient days of giants, when the earth was wild and free, a creature roamed the valleys, cloaked in mystery. Is he born of angels' blood and man, a Nephilim so tall, or a shadow of the fallen, yet he the maker's call? He's a biblically accurate Bigfoot, with a lineage from the skies. Not a myth or legend, but a truth that never dies. Is he a remnant of the Nephilim, a titan standing tall, or does he have the word?